Hello and welcome everyone. So good to be back with you all. And so this week, I have an old friend with me uh, who's sitting with me here in my little home temple office studio. My friend Cesare, who's been on the path with me for many years, and it's nice. It's nice to have friends on the path to support you, and that's in a sense what we're doing together when we meet each week. We're all coming together and we're building this sense of Sangha, this sense of community, this sense of commitment. Earlier today, because it's the time of year here in the United States where people are doing their taxes, it was a day for me to focus on my taxes. And I started to look at my commitment to doing my taxes. And I found that I had all these excuses before sitting down at my computer and getting started. Well, first, I should clean my office, and maybe I should make a little snack. Maybe I should take the dogs for a walk, and maybe I could mess around with this thing and that thing. And a lot of people, they have the same type of commitment with meditation. They have this idea that they're going to meditate, but then life comes along or their mind comes along and gives them a convenient distraction. And so it's nice to see you all just showing up each week and committing yourself to this path. This is how we grow, through making something great like meditation a priority in our life, giving ourselves to it. And so there's this very special thing that happens when we all come together. This thing called transmission. And it's special in the world of meditation, but it's also just common, and wherever you're at, we're transmitting this or that. You can walk into a classroom and feel any teacher's transmission. You can go to the gas station and feel, the guy who's working the cash register. You can feel his transmission. And so we're all doing this. And when we come together on these Wednesday nights, we're giving ourselves permission to open to that which is higher than our own humanity, than our own ego. And it's a beautiful thing. Christ spoke about this. When two or more are gathered in my name, I am there. I am there. And so what you'll find is, as we keep showing up each week, oftentimes you'll find that this transmission will start to come actually before the class has started. As my friend Cesare walked into the house and my little girl got so excited to see her and the dogs were being wild, I felt this grace coming into me and I started to feel disoriented. And my daughter was just, super excited and being wild, and the dogs were barking. And I kept just looking, over to this, to my meditation room, just saying I just want to sit down and be quiet and open to what's here. And what you'll find, more and more as you commit to this path, you'll find there'll be very specific vibrations and transmissions that will come into your life. When you're here, but also when you're driving down the road, when you're alone, when you're going for a quiet walk in the park. And it's so valuable. It's so different than just, picking up a book and learning how to meditate that way. It's like you're stepping into a flow, stepping into a river. And so, in this path in particular, you know, like we speak about each week, I invite you to get in touch first with your true nature, this quiet presence of innocence that you are, that's beyond your name, beyond form, beyond conditioning. And then from that space, and we open our crown, we open our heart to receive this blessing from above. And oftentimes, when you start to open to this grace from above, this descent of grace, it can feel really disorienting. It can feel incredibly bright and brilliant. There were many times when, after meeting with my teacher, I just felt like so high, and my consciousness felt just obliterated with light, blown open. It was hard to keep the car between the lines, when I was driving home. And so, one of the things that Cesare brought up to me, she said, "Craig, could you speak a little bit about grounding?" And so when we open to this grace from above, and we're flooded with a heavenly light, and it can feel very ungrounding. But when we open simultaneously to the Divine Mother in the earth, in matter itself, and allow this ascent to come up from below, you'll feel this sense of solidity, a stability, a strength, like a feeling of being like a mountain. And so when we have these three forces, the force of first waking up to true nature, then calling upon this grace from above, and then this grace from below, it creates this wonderful experience. And as you open to it more and more, it no longer becomes an experience, but rather an aspect, a quality of your very consciousness. And so I just want to thank you all for joining me this evening and stepping into this space with me. There's a million other things we could be doing right now. And so I commend you, and my heart is with you. And so I invite you to close your eyes. Just take some deep, full belly breaths, breathing in and breathing out. And allow the sound of the bell to draw you deeply inward. I invite you to bring your awareness to your heart, to the goodness, the innocence of your heart space. This most holy of places. And so we're feeling, opening to, diving into the cave of your heart space, this inner world. And I invite you to gently smile, to acknowledge that what you are is good. What you are is holy. What you are is pure. You're not that silly commenting voice in your mind. You're not your gender, your age, your career. But rather what you are is this quiet space of innocence, this quiet space of goodness. And I invite you, to take some deep breaths and to give yourself permission to fall in love with your goodness. Fall in love with this innocence. Throughout our whole life, we have people telling us we are less than holy. But I'm here to remind you that what you are is God in form. What you are is absolutely divine. Is supremely holy. And so we discover this realization of innate beauty in the interior world of the heart. So again, I invite you just to gently smile, take some deep breaths. And of course, if there's anything you're struggling with, any aspect of humanity, any commenting voice or inner critic, is to gently turn your attention away from that, and to dive deeply into your heart and notice this quiet presence of radiance. Give yourself permission to fall in love with what you truly are. So we'll take a couple more deep, full belly breaths and just noticing this very innocent radiance expanding, including your throat, your shoulders, your neck, the space of your mind is being flooded with this quiet radiance that you are. And simultaneously, I invite you to relax the solar plexus, the lower belly, the hara, the pelvis, the pelvic floor. You're just noticing this quiet presence of radiance waking up throughout the torso, throughout the space of the mind, your arms and your hands, and even feeling this brilliant light pouring through the palms of your hands, your fingertips, waking up in your thighs, your knees, the calves, the shins, the feet. And together we are noticing who and what you are, beyond the movement of thought. So we're noticing this radiance, this stillness, this silent space of freedom throughout our being. And for some of you who are a little too serious and who've only awoken awareness in the space of the third eye or the mind, I invite you to join me in really feeling an awakening throughout the totality of your subtle energetic body. So allowing awareness again to wake up. Your heart, your back, your spine, your belly, pelvis. Can you give yourself permission to experience awareness throughout you? And even allow awareness to expand beyond this body. To feel, to open to the hugeness of the sky. As you do that, you may feel somewhat transcendent. Begin to feel like a cosmic brilliance. And so simultaneously, I invite you to allow awareness to wake up below you as well. feeling this sense of spaciousness and freedom below the feet. And you might even notice that this feeling of awareness feels more grounded and solid. And so your job is simply to be open, to be receptive, to notice what is this experience of your very nature. Can I allow awareness to be above, within, throughout, as well as below? So we're giving ourselves permission to be absolutely inclusive. To acknowledge the hugeness of what you are. And so from this space of being huge, I invite you to open your crown chakra to call upon this grace from above. Mother, will you flood us with your most high, your most high grace? Flood us with your light, with your brilliance. Come into us. Overwhelm us with your beauty, with your divinity. Your job is simply to receive this most holy of gifts, this healing light. This incredible radiance and brilliance. And you may begin to notice becoming very bright in the space of the third eye. For some of you, you may feel an intensity of light, a heat. If you have a strong mind or strong ego, or lots of thoughts, you may notice some resistance arising. And this is normal. You just breathe and feel. Let whatever thoughts are here, whatever aspects of humanity, yourself, or resistance, you just surrender this to the light. Just giving anything that is less than, anything you struggle with, any heartache or emotion. Just surrender this over to God, to grace. Let her do the work. So I invite you all just to take a couple more deep, full belly breaths. Relaxing, surrendering more deeply and fully. Saying yes to what's here. And from this space of openness, I hear her voice, this message for you. I love you all so much. Open your hearts to me. Receive my love. Receive my support on this path. You don't have to do this path alone. You don't have to struggle so much. Let me take your burden. Let me awaken in you as you give me your heartache, your pain, your sadness, your confusion, your resistance. Let me show you the highest. And so I invite you to open your hearts to receive this grace. Receive this love. Let yourself be held. Let yourself crawl up into the lap of the Divine Mother. For some of you, it's going to require some humility, willingness to let go, to be childlike, to not be so serious. Can you surrender your life, your will, and I can see that some of us here this evening have a really strong will. And that's okay, that's helpful on the path, but it's also helpful just to be childlike, to be innocent, to surrender, to trust. Let yourself be held. The silence that's here. Nurturing and warm. Grace-filled silence. Let yourself be held, bathed in this light, this love, this eternal compassion. And so you're inviting this grace, giving it permission to come down through the crown, through the space of the third eye, flooding the space of the mind, coming down through the throat chakra, coming into the heart. You may even feel this feeling as this grace comes into the heart. This energy, this light is so lovely. It's almost like it takes your breath away. Healing your emotional nature. Flooding your human self. With an absolute and unconditional love. You deserve this. You are worthy of this grace. So often in life, we're taught we are unworthy. The Divine Mother is here because we are her children. And so I invite you to take a couple more deep, full belly breaths, just inviting this grace to flow deeper and deeper into the depth of your being, the depth of your presence. Inviting this grace down into the pelvis, to the legs, the feet, and going all the way down into the earth. Just feeling yourself as this great conduit, this light, this love, absolutely flooding you, descending down into the earth. And I invite you just to acknowledge this feeling of grace which is waking up in the earth, coming up through the feet, to the legs, so you may feel this sense of warmth, this sense of aliveness. This quality of radiant, grounded, nurturing light coming up from below. So again, we welcome God's grace. We welcome this grace as it descends down from heaven and simultaneously as it ascends from Mother Earth. So we're taking some deep, full breaths. Noticing this very impersonal, experience of what you are. Feels as if it's beyond human. The entirety of what you are is waking up. In an absolute way. If any of you, again, are struggling with your mind, lost in thought, simply bring your awareness to your heart, to your body. Notice what you are feeling, what you're experiencing right here, right now. So, for some of you, this light will be disorienting. If that's the case, simply feel your feet on the ground. And trust that what you are is quite huge. Quite divine. Deep, full belly breaths, breathing in, breathing out. Surrendering to your absolute nature. Mother, have your way. Have your way with us. Show me that which is greater than mind, than ego, than name and form. And so for any of you who are holding yourself back, and you surrender this to, join me in the unknown. Can you open and receive the fullness, the hugeness, the totality of what you are? Aru Perun Joti. Mother, help us to receive this most high grace light. Make us fit conduits for this grace, this light, this love. Transform us from the inside out. Awaken us to the hugeness of what we are. Give us the strength to live from this space, to manifest your highest. And the humility to continue to grow, to open, to receive, to let go and surrender that which is lesser. To step into more fully that which is greater. And so I invite you to see this light, this grace shining out from your heart in every direction. Blessing your human self, your human body, your human mind, and emotional nature. And simultaneously blessing your friends, your family, the people you love and the people you struggle with. So you're blessing your state, your nation, the entirety of the planet, expanding the collective consciousness, healing the collective unconsciousness, flooding it all with light. So I invite you to take a couple more deep, full belly breaths. And then when you're ready, just gently open your eyes. And so I invite you all to stay with your experience. And I'm going to give everyone a little bit of homework. You know, if you have a journal at home, I'm going to invite you to write about the direct experience of yourself. To start to put into words how you experience yourself. This is one of the things that my teacher forced me to do. It used to drive me crazy, but what happens is when you can clearly speak about your experience, when you can name it, it helps you to acknowledge what you are, to embody what you are, to step into what you are. Sometimes during meditation, we open into worlds or experiences of our own consciousness that we don't fully understand. And when we have an experience that we don't understand, what our mind will do is quickly label it, like put it in a box of that which we already know. It normally like downgrades it. There's all kinds of people walking around planet Earth who've awoken to something huge. And sometimes they have no idea what it is, what's happening in them. Some people call it mental illness, because their mind, explodes open and they feel a sense of groundlessness. And so they go to their doctor and ask their doctor what has happened to them. But I invite you to claim your experience, not from a place of ego, but from the innocence of what you are, the divinity of what you are. And so as we sit here right now, just notice, what is it that I'm feeling right now that's beyond mind, beyond thought, beyond emotion? What's here? And so I'm going to invite you, after each meditation when we come together, just to sit down and take a couple minutes and write. Write what you are beyond mind. And it's okay, if you notice, oh, my mind was really busy or really grumpy or judgmental or this or that. But I don't want you to focus on that. I want you to focus on that which noticed your mind was busy. But then beyond that, more important than that, it was to witness the witness, to become aware of awareness, to become aware of what you are on an essential level. It's an incredible spiritual practice. It helps this experience that we're having together to deepen, to become an aspect of your consciousness. And so that's part of the homework. The other aspect of the homework is I invite you just throughout your week to call upon this grace, to call upon God, to step out of your normal human everyday consciousness and just gently invite something greater to move through you, to speak through you, to act through you. And so it's been my absolute pleasure, as always, to sit with you all. And it's so nice to see the same faces returning each week. Something powerful is happening together. So thank you all so much, and may peace be with you all. Have a wonderful evening, and for those of you in Australia, a wonderful morning. Take good care, and peace be with you. Good night.